In software engineering, let us talk about modeling. So we'll see what do we want to build first of all, and how do we write this down. What happens when you are trying to make, say, a building, or say a campus with buildings, or say a bridge, multi-billion bridge. You don't really, start over with building or installing before your model has been prepared, because you cannot just go along before actually looking down to the model. So what you do, you make a model, then you get a response. This is here, that will be here, and on the basis of that model, after this model is passed, verified, and it's a prototype which is seen first of all. So this is what we are talking about, that we want to build a model of a software. Then we want this to be written down in some way. There are certain system modeling techniques. Classical modeling techniques include the ER modeling, that is entity relationship model, FSM, that is finite state machine, data flow diagrams, DFDs are used to model the software, and CRC card. We'll see these collaboration cards. Object oriented modeling. In this object oriented modeling, we use variety of UML diagrams to model the product. So let us start with entity relationship modeling. In this entity relationship modeling, there are two parts: entity and relationship. Entities and relationship among these entities. So entity means those objects or entities or things, that means distinguishable object of certain type. This can be termed as entity. Then what is the type of entity? There can be various entity. Now the type of set of entities. Then the value, attribute value, a piece of information which is actually describing wholly or partially the entity. Then the attribute, that is the type of set of attribute value, that is attribute type. Then the relationship, that is we have now various entities. Every entity has been described by their attribute. This is entity 1, entity 2. And now the relationship between these two entities or various entities. So this is an example of ER diagram. Member is an entity, book copy is an entity, name, address, identification are the attributes of member, and book copy has attribute as identification. Now it has this member is related to book copy, and how it is related, one to many, many to one. So there are certain types of entity relationship also. Then we come to FSM, that is finite state machines. So how to make the model using FSM? FSM models a system in terms of states, finite number of states, and the transition between these states. So you have various state, say S1, then S2, how S1 has become S2. These are often depicted as the state diagrams. So each state is a bubble. Okay, we make it a bubble now. Each state is a bubble, and each transition is an arc from one state to another. This is state 1, this is state 2. For large system, hierarchical diagrams are used. State charts are used. This is an example state transition diagram. For example, say a book copy present. If loan is taken, it is subjected to borrowed. If it is gone to repair, so it will be set in repair. So this is the state of repair. This is state of repair. Now borrowed, when it is written off or write off is done, the state has become written off. And the renew, if the renew is done, then the state becomes that only, means the previous state is retained. So these are the example of state transition diagram using FSM, finite state machine. Now we come to DFD, data flow diagram. In data flow diagram, essentially we are taking data, or we are talking about the data and its flow, how it is going to flow. It is a sophisticated version of the flow chart we used to learn in our earlier classes. These are the various notation which are or notation which are used in our DFDs. So these are the external entities, these are the processes, these are the data flow directions, and these are the data stores. This is an example data flow diagram. See, a client which is an external source, this is a process. Now it is saving or taking log data. from the external source. Okay, now again, management is an external source. Borrow title, preliminary doc, all these are the various processes which are dealing with the external sources, and these are the data flow. So these are the data flow diagram. There are various DFDs, 0 which is also called as a context, 0 level, and 1 level, 2 level, 3 level. These, so we go up to various levels of DFD. Then we come to the CRCC, that is class responsibility collaboration. Class responsibility collaboration. This is also a modeling technique of software. So in this, what happens? You have a class. What is a class? Say reservation is a class. What is the responsibility of this class? It keep list of reserved titles and also handle reservations. What are the collaborators with this class? Catalog is one collaborator. User session is another collaborator. So what is an object? When we are talking about object-oriented programming, we need to first find out the object. So modeling viewpoint is we model a part of the world. So identity, state plus behavior. First identity, then its state, then its behavior. Philosophical view, what is an object is, it is existing or it is an existential abstraction. Everything is an object, can be regarded as an object. What is a software engineering viewpoint? Software engineering viewpoint is, this is a data abstraction. While the implementation viewpoint is, this is some structure in the memory. So this is an object. But formal viewpoint says that it is a state machine. So coming to objects and their attributes, object is characterized by certain attributes. Like a table has a top, it has a leg. A table is used to place laptop. So in ERM, attributes denote intrinsic properties, and they do not depend on each other. They are descriptive. Okay. In ERM, entity relationship model, relationship denote mutual properties such as the membership of a person of some organization. In UML, these relationships are called as association, not the relationships. So formally, UML does not distinguish attributes and relationship. Both are the properties of a class. In UML, there is nothing or no distinction between an attribute or a relationship. Both are the properties of a class. So object state behavior. State means the set of attributes of an object. Class means the set of objects with some attributes. An individual object is an instance of this class. Behavior is defined by the or described by the services. That is the set of responsibilities this class is supposed to perform an object to the object. Service is invoked by sending a message, like dot operator we use in object-oriented programming language. Then relationship between objects. The relationship between objects can be specialization and generalization. See, for generalization, we can take an example of inheritance, how it is implemented in the programming language. So you can have a specialization, generalization. That is a relationship. What is a relationship? Dog is an element. So dog is a specialization of animal, or animal is the generalization of dog, expressed in hierarchy. First we write animal, then we write dog, cats, then we can write various categories of cat, big cat, small cat. So the whole part has that means a dog has legs. So aggregation of parts in a whole. This is the whole part. Distinction between the real world part of, and representational part of what, say, publisher is a part of publication. Member of means what member of has, whole part has this. What member of has, soccer team has players. So this is a relationship between a set and its member. And this is usually not transitive. This A, B, B, C is not AC. Then the specialization generalization relationship, it is usually expressed in the hierarchical structure. Okay, hierarchical structure. So if a tree, if it is a tree, that is a single inheritance. If it is a, say, directed graph, it is showing the multiple inheritance. So common attributes are defined at a higher level in the object hierarchy, and they are inherited by the child nodes. Alternative view of this is object hierarchy is a type hierarchy with types and subtypes. Then we talk about UML, Unified Modeling Language. So this is controlled by OMG Consortium, that is Object Management Group, OMG, Object Management Group, UML, Unified Modeling Language. The latest version is UML 2. UML2 has 13 diagrams. UML1 has had 9 diagrams. So UML2 has 13 diagram types. There are static diagrams which depicts the static structure. There are dynamic diagrams which shows what happens during the execution, like use case here, like state charts here, state transition. So most often used diagrams are class diagram, which is used around 75%, use case diagram and communication diagram around 55%. So often they use loose semantics. These are UML diagram types: static diagrams, which has class diagram, component diagram, deployment diagram, interaction overview, object package diagram. In dynamic diagram, activity, because certain activity will be shown, communication between two, composite structure, sequence from 1 to second, state machine, timing, use case. So use case, timing, state machine, sequence, composite structure, communication, activity, these are dynamic diagrams, and all these are, they comes under the category of static diagrams. Then UML class diagrams, it depicts the static structure of a system. Most common example is subclass, superclass, hierarchy. Almost all mutual properties between two or more entities is there. That is ER relationship. These are often called associations in your object-oriented paradigm. These are the example class diagram of a generalization. That is publication. So generalization is shown like this. This is a triangle here. So it is triangle here. This is how it is shown. So publication, book is a generalization of publication, and general is also a generalization of publication. So all these properties are inherited by it, these two. These are the example class diagrams showing the association. Library is a member of client. Library, they are client, these are the class. Okay, then this is again a member, this is a membership. This is one to many, many to one relationship between various classes. These are the composition, that book has a author, title, and ISBN. So book can be written as author, title, ISBN. This is a composition. These are the interface, the class with abstract features. For example, employee or a client. Now it has financial data. Client can have a client data like price and acquisition. So publication can go to this, publication go to this, while client can take this. So this is the class with abstract features. What about a state machine diagram? It resembles the finite state machines, but usually allow the local variables of state. It has external inputs and output. That is why it is state machine is dynamic. So it allows the hierarchical states also. For example, in state machine diagram, we have start. This is the end. These are the states it is changing. And if we borrow, if we return, where it is going to come, where it is going to start, and all these are in state machine diagram. So this is an example state machine diagram. These are the global and expanded view. This is just a global view, and if you want to expand this, you can get this view. Then we have interaction diagram. So there are two types: sequence diagram and communication diagram. Okay, sequence diagram and communication diagram, interaction diagram. Sequence diagram means it emphasizes the ordering of events using a lifeline. And communication diagram, it emphasizes objects and their relationships. Sequence diagram, ordering of events using some lifeline. Communication emphasizes objects and their relationship. This is the example of sequence diagram. First lookup will be done, then title data, then not available result title, then the title will be returned, then whole title. So this is a sequence, this is a proper sequence which is taking place. And where? Between these three, user, catalog, and reservation. Then the example communication diagram is, this is how reservation, user, and catalog, they are communicating in between from start. Then component diagram, class diagram with some stereotype. This is a way to identify the larger entities also. So one way to depict module view, we need to see the software architecture. We'll see it just now. And components are connected by interfaces. This is an example component diagram. Say this is a component. This is shown by this figure. Component. This component will be used, and other things remains the same. This is a simple use case diagram most employed. Apart from this class diagram. So a client, this is a actor or a user, how it interacts, all these interacts with the library system. So let us summarize it. There are classical notations for modeling, ER diagrams, finite state machines, DFD, and CRC cards. UML also is an important role playing for modeling, for object oriented notations. There are 13 diagram used and widely used. Here means widely used. Thank you so much. This was about modeling.